And again, because this is an action pose, this is a little more complicated than the standing pose that I drew earlier. I'm actually going to draw, I call this like the line I just drew, I call that like the plane of existence, if you want to be existential about it, or the floor, just something to put in reference to your figure so you know how their feet should be positioned, because she's standing on this floor. So you want to actually make it look like this character is in a space. And here we kind of have our base skeleton done, that we can now go ahead, make a new layer, and put skin on this lovely lady. And like I said before, I'm going to repeat it again. I'm not actually going to go into doing anything on the face or the head right now. That's going to be a future stream, because that's a whole nother set of like rules and proportions and things. And right now I'm just trying to do the basics of figure posing. So look forward to the future when we'll do a whole stream on just the head and the face. For now, I'm just putting in like very simple features. So we can go in and figure out the rest of our figure. Hi Riot EXE. Thank you for joining. I hope I'm teaching some people something. This is my first ever tutoring stream. I've never done this before, so I hope it's not too boring. I'll try to think about ways in the future to make all this information like more fun to present, because I think it's more fun when I actually get to interact with people, and if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. It makes my job easier to actually explain all this stuff to you. But for now, I'll just keep talking as I draw. It was nice meeting your combo breaker too. I'm happy that you guys all are following me. Alright, so like I said, we're putting skin on our like nice little skeletal structure. We're going to put some skin on our dear Saki here. Yeah, that's what I hear a lot from people. I hear a lot, oh, I used to draw, but then I stopped. Oh, I wish I could draw, but I stopped practicing. And I feel like that's the only thing that holds back anyone from being able to draw, is just you stopped. If you keep practicing every day, you'll definitely be able to do it. because I'm trying to teach the very basics here. I'm not trying to discourage anybody. Again, if you are drawing alongside me, or if you're drawing a figure too and it's not looking right, just know that if you're just starting out, I mean, it just takes a lot of practice and a lot of getting very comfortable with the human form to be able to draw on the fly like I'm doing. Just don't give up. I think on a future stream I'll also do hands and feet, because I did go into feet a little bit when I was talking about the Ninja Turtle toes earlier and how you break the foot up into 3 separate shapes. But I didn't really go in too deep with hands, and hands are kind of a tricky monster, so let's just focus on the figure right now, and we'll do hands at a later date. So if you guys had tuned in earlier, yeah, loosening up is one of the biggest things that you actually need to do to draw appropriately. Is really a lot of times you just stress out too much about trying to get every little detail instead of just being really loose and just flowing with it. Sorry, where was I? Oh, right. So earlier I was talking about the calf muscles, and I did this little figure over here where I said the calf is just a cylinder with a weird little egg shape on it. And that's going to be the same thing with this part of your forearm. This squishy bit right up here. It's going to look like a sphere, not a sphere, a cylinder with an egg on top of it. And depending on the perspective, a really long egg, so a really long oval shape. Depending on the perspective, like it is in this shot, you're going to have 2 ovals on it. And then when you put skin over it, it looks like an arm. Yes, we all have bones, but I promise you I won't talk about broken bones. Oh, good. Thanks for joining my stream, Philpini, and I'm glad that that's really helpful, because that's why I'm doing this. I think I made her arm a bit long. So again, another thing I want to mention, so earlier when I was talking about the kneecap and how I said the kneecap was this weird 4-sided prism shape, your elbow is going to be the same shape just on your arm, because your arm and your legs are built very similarly. So the elbow is going to be very similar. It's going to be 2 cylinders with this pyramid shape right on the end of it, and that's your hinge. And then we're going to continue to just put some skin onto Miss Saki here. So as you guys can see, the more you break down any pose into these very simplistic shapes, these primitives, it's so much easier to draw a really complex figure. So I'm not going to sit there and draw like the eye immediately, and the nose, and the mouth, and then try to draw my figure from that. You want to break it down into all of these primitive shapes. Like I said, in the future we'll have a stream about hands. I'm not trying to go into hands, face, or feet too deeply right now because I'm trying to do figure basics. And I found in the past that for me, learning how to give volume to shapes like the arms and the legs, it actually really helps to do, I don't know what you would call them, but I call them like curvature lines. So for example, if I view the arm as a cylinder, like this, okay, the arm is a cylinder, the sphere is the joint, and this is the bottom of the arm, right? To get the full look, the form of an arm, because your arm isn't, straight lines. Your arm is actually curved all over the place. I like to do these curvature lines, and they just help me see the form a lot better. I don't know if it will help everyone, but it's how my brain processes things. So when I'm doing a figure like this, sometimes I'll have some curvature lines, and it helps me see how the arm is like deforming and posing, and it also makes shading a lot easier too. But we're not going to be shading much today. We're just doing figure basics. Oh, that's because great minds think alike. That's what you do to help you shade. It really helps. It helps see everything better.